would have been so cool if you would have had, and a perfect moment came where AJ Styles was seen backstage being interviewed by this girl as he was giving some thoughts about having the last match against Kurt Angle on SmackDown. And I forgot where they were tonight, but basically, hey, this is it for Kurt Angle, the one match that he's doing here on SmackDown, and pretty much his last as he get ready to do his retirement match at Mania is against AJ Styles. You had a great moment there where AJ Styles could have said to the blonde girl, oh, well, hey, before I dive into that, blah, 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 blah. It's great to have you on board. Nice to be talking with you. I've seen them do that before in the past. So the fact that they did not do it this go round, that was just most peculiar in my book. Most peculiar. I love seeing that burning image of the entire locker room surrounding the ring when Kofi was announced he was going to WrestleMania to end SmackDown. That was a great image. I even like hearing Byron Saxton dropping his headset down, telling them how he was going to go and celebrate as well, and the commentators are just silent as they get ready to fade to black. Nice little setup, nice go home, great setup. I gotta tell you, when I do the comparisons of the Raw and the SmackDown brand, they've just really continued to step it up. Even, quite honestly, long before the deal with Fox had came about. Gotta give them a lot of props. Rewinding it back just a little bit, major title change did come about on SmackDown tonight. Charlotte Flair defeated Asuka to become a 8-time women's champion. Yes, a 8-time women's champion. And let me be quite candid for a bit. I'm not going to be long-winded with this, but I have to say that with regards to how upper management has been doing Asuka since she's come to the main roster, it has been what the hell. I am infuriated as a fan of her work because I remember seeing her stuff that she was doing overseas long before she had came into the WWE. And I tell you what, when I first had heard that she got signed by the WWE, instantly I said, my God, her and Triple H, they are going to do wonders together. You just watch, just wait and see. He gets her. He gets the whole concept. He's going to be able to make her shine really, really well. And to his credit, that's exactly what he was able to do with her down in NXT. Where she was lacking as far as weakness goes, he was able to mask it very well. And it is just atrocious what has been happening with her since she's been on the main roster. It's downright sad. Right down to the point, as far as saddest moment of the week goes, for me, the nod goes to Asuka. Now, you already hear that there's going to be 12, 13, 14, 15 freaking matches on the WrestleMania card. WrestleMania is going to be, my God, 6-7 hours this freaking year. So, all right, it's a lot of matches that we need on that card. But now that you've done what you've done with Asuka, you can't help but, as a fan of her work, say, WWE, what the hell? What the hell are you guys doing? Now, some people could maybe look at this and they could maybe say, well, is this upper management trying to work us a bit? They know that this would make us be really upset, so this is them toying with us so that they can follow what all we're saying on social media. They can just tally up our reactions, kind of similar to making the announcement that Baron Corbin was going to be facing Kurt Angle in his final wrestling match at Mania. Is this maybe WWE's way of trying to swerve the fans a little bit? And I don't think so. I think, honestly, and with the reports that's kind of circulating out there now, it's basically the decision was made as of the taping for this SmackDown that Charlotte was going to get the title. So this was pretty much a last minute decision, and honestly, I'm very just, wow, I'm speechless at this, because the way things were looking right now, you were under the impression that maybe Asuka was going to be defending that title against Mandy Rose, or maybe Lacey Evans was going to slide on in there, or maybe there was going to be some type of a fatal four-way. There was just so many different angles that you could entertain looking at this match. But one thing you did say, hey, Asuka's going to have something to do at WrestleMania. This is going to be pretty solid for her fans. And this just lowers her stock down tremendously. So you have that pay-per-view that went down. Remember that match? It was a triple threat match, if you guys recall, where Asuka had won the title, right? Because remember, Ronda Rousey, she had interfered, all that crap. Remember that? And then you had Asuka take on Charlotte Flair. I remember it was on an episode of SmackDown. But remember what I had said when Asuka had won the title? Yeah, Ronda Rousey might have helped a little bit, but remember what I said on this show weeks back. I said, hey, this is going to help Asuka. This move that went down right here, this helps her. It reaffirms her. It reinstates her as a strong champion once again. Now she just needs some really good matchups, and we really have not been seeing that with her ever since she's won the title. So much so, half the damn time, I'm not sure how it is for you all, but half the damn time I forget, or at least I forgot up until this point, that Asuka was the SmackDown Women's Champion. That's how insignificant this title has become. And that's the travesty of it all, is as great as a talent she is in the ring, the charisma that she has, the great ring entrance with the beautiful Japanese mask and the robes and just everything, the presentation, everything is just spot on, perfect. The one negative thing is the fact that her English is so broken, very poor articulation, and it's quite sad. It really, really is. And that seems to be the one thing that's really been holding her back. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And, you know, it just really shines a spot for me in my eyes that not everybody should be getting the call up to the main roster, that there really should be those that stay designated to NXT, and Asuka definitely one of those people. If you could just rewind it back a little bit, if you were going to bring her to the main roster, you should have always hidden her weaknesses. You should have always hidden her flaws. Mask them as best as you can. And the fact that her English is not that good, and you got her out there cutting whatever silly little promos in English, and the fans, they don't really care for it. They don't mean to be dicks, but it's just not translating well for them, and it's sad. It's really, really sad. Very, very perplexed. Very perplexed at what happened there. So what happens with Asuka? You keep hearing about no more instant rematches. So are we maybe gonna throw Asuka in there? It's a very weird dynamic. I mean, you gotta follow the storyline consistency. You would like to believe that no instant rematch. So there's no way Asuka is gonna be able to slide on in there, that it's just gonna remain a triple threat match. But now look at this very interesting dynamic that we have here, which is Charlotte, SmackDown Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey, Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, right there in the middle. I don't get that move, man. I really, really don't get that move whatsoever. I mean, if I were to try to make sense out of the move, the only thing that would make sense to me is from a marketing standpoint. Okay, when you look at Raw, who's the top dog, right? When you look at your female champion, who's the top dog? Okay, it's Ronda Rousey. All right, when you look at SmackDown, who's your top dog? Do you really want it to be Asuka? I mean, come on, look. We all could be in agreement. The way Asuka was utilized earlier on, it sucks balls, right? When she finally had won the women's title, you couldn't help but be happy for her and everything. Has things been a bit flat for her as of late? Yes, things have been a bit flat for her as of late. I definitely would agree with that, okay? But should you really have taken the title off of her and put it on Charlotte? I don't think so. But just from a marketing standpoint, and the fact that you're putting even more importance on, look at these three women. These three particular women, look at how they have been able to revolutionize the industry within the WWE. Look at how they've been able to do what they've been able to do for WWE's women's division, right? These are the best of the best. This is the cream of the crop, right? This is the cream on top of that coffee or on top of that latte, right? Okay, if you want to go about it from that standpoint, okay, cool. However, this is where things start to get a little bit tricky. Because now you've got 2 championships, and you've got Becky Lynch, who has no title, right there in the middle. So just stop and think about this for a second. If you're going to go in this direction, don't you think it makes all the sense in the world that both titles, I don't know, both titles would maybe be on the line? I mean, you would think that would make a lot of sense, because unless I miss some type of an announcement here, and I'm just going to look up the WrestleMania card here, and we'll get a new update on our matches here. Unless I miss something, because it's possible. Sometimes as I'm prepping for the show, I'm like in and out. I'm just moving around and everything. Okay. So no, as it stands right now, it is still a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, I'm sorry. You've got to change that. You've got to. If I'm booking this, you got to change it. And the way that you change this, you basically say, okay, on top of Ronda Rousey's title being on the line, Charlotte's title is also going to be on the line as well. Could you maybe have a case of, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. You could do a winner takes both titles, and they go on ahead and they crown a undisputed women's champion. You could do that, and it would make a lot of sense to go in that direction, for the simple fact, this Fox deal, right? SmackDown's going to be doing its thing fall of this year, right? Making the move to Fox. You're going to have a shared roster. You're going to have talents that's going to have to keep coming on over, back and forth. So that would be kind of badass if you went in that direction, right? So you could do a winner takes both titles. The other thing that you could do, have both titles be on the line. See, that's where it gets so tricky, yeah. Because I'm thinking, what happens if Becky wins, right? So obviously, if Becky pins Charlotte, then she becomes the new SmackDown Women's Champion. However, if she pins Ronda Rousey, then frickin' Becky Lynch becomes the new Raw Women's Champion, and by default, Becky would now move to Raw. Now, eventually you're going to have to do another shakeup, because we know these things usually come shortly after WrestleMania. Do you maybe then have Ronda head on over to SmackDown just to switch things up, or you continue to leave her on the Raw brand? This is a very interesting dynamic that's going on right here with regards to this triple threat match, because this is going to be closing out WrestleMania. And with Charlotte winning the SmackDown Women's title, this match just got even more intriguing. And I can't wait to find out how exactly they're going to address Charlotte winning that title, and if her title is going to be up for grabs as well at WrestleMania. So, of all the matches and just what all is at stake, and just looking at things from a creative standpoint, that match I am most intrigued by. So, I'm just poking my head in the Discord chat before we move further here. Yeah, Cody, I'm with you, brother. Double champ. Also, Kofi takes the Grand Slam if he wins at Mania. Very true. So, yeah, those are the things you got to look out for. It could be a double champion walking out in that women's match and they just go on both brands, right? You don't necessarily have to fuse the titles. You could just have it be, okay, well, since this person is double champion, all right, well, you're going to see him on SmackDown. All right, and you're going to see him on Raw. You could just keep doing it like that until eventually they lose one of the titles. And then, all right, now they get their little break. They're back to their respected show because now the title is lost over to the other brand, right? The correct brand or whatever. So a lot of stuff to think about. I'm sure everything will get cleared up by the time we get to next week's Monday Night Raw, which is going to be emulating right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Before anybody asks, I am not going. I'm sorry, but these past couple of years, I've just not been excited about Raw. I have not been excited about Raw. Now, if it was an NXT show, I would go. No questions asked. I wouldn't even think about it. Whenever the tickets were available, I would so freaking jump on that. I had an opportunity to go to an NXT show. I believe it was last year. But I'm trying to think what had happened. Okay, yeah, I originally was supposed to go with my pretend sister, Ebony, but she could not find a babysitter at the last minute. And then I didn't realize until I got home from work that my girl could have gone with me the entire time. She never did. Somehow it was lost in communication that she got off work early and we could have went. So it was, it was like, So, and they were at the Anthem, NXT. They had performed at the Anthem stadium, or arena or whatever. So I'm hoping that NXT comes on back, and if they do, that's definitely something I would check out in a heartbeat. So